I decided today to do an outside painting. Now I'm not going to paint a painting of the river. We're going to do one of the mountains, but I get so many people saying, how do you do that and all that? Well, today I'm going to show you, or try to show you, a little bit of how I do that. Now, over the last few years, people have, it says, is that really you doing that painting? Because I just started a couple of years ago, and like so many other people, I started by watching Bob Ross, and I watched him, and I was like, you know what, I think that I could do that. I would like to try it. So one day I did, and I would encourage anybody watching this for you to try it, because as the late great Bob Ross said, anybody can paint, okay? Now, the method that I use is not paint by numbers. I have been accused of doing that, but it is the wet on wet, meaning that the canvas is already wet with liquid white, in which you can get at Hobby Lobby or whatever, and the method is simply putting paint on wet paint, and that way it's able to blend the colors. You're able to smear it or whatever. It's easy, easy, easy. Listen, if I do it, it's got to be easy. So we're just going to do, as Bob Ross would say, a happy little painting today. And I have already got all of the liquid white, a thin coat of liquid white. Now, you don't want to put too much on there because it will look terrible. It will look, you end up playing in mud, basically. So you put a thin layer. Now, we are outside today, and with outside comes different elements, including bugs. So I always keep, I don't know if you can see this, but I always keep tweezers in part of my repertoire, so I can just simply remove bugs as they get on there. Another thing that I have learned is I do not keep my brushes other than my specialty brushes. I've got the fan brushes and liner brushes and all of that, and of course, the almighty knife, okay? The almighty palette knife, that's what they call it. And my tweezers, but I usually just go down, boy, that wind is blowing today. I usually just go down to the dollar store, and I simply get $1 for, you get 4 of them for $1. So, and at the end, you just throw them away. All right, so let's get started. Take my palette here, and I am going to go into my ultra blue right here. And I'm just going to I'm using my 2-inch brush. This is the one that I use to put the liquid clear on, the liquid white, I'm sorry. And I'm going to just load it up really good. And I'm going to start up here by just doing little X's. Now, you always want to start off with, at the top, being darker, because the closer you get, the darker it is. And you want the closer to your horizon to be lighter. Just like so. And don't worry about anything making sense right now. You're just putting color on there, okay? All right. Now I got that on there. Now I'm just going to start blending it out. Just real lightly go across. Now the white in between, you want to leave that. Don't get too crazy and fade it away. Let that help you out there. And I figured today, without cleaning the brush, I'm just going to go through and put some titanium white on there, and we'll make some happy little clouds. And we just kind of go through there just like so. Now you don't want to make it too perfect, because clouds are not perfect. They don't look perfect. You do want to make sure that the white part is kind of at the bottom of it, though. All right, we're just kind of going to go along there like that. All right, now, instead of taking time to clean the brush, I've got another one here that I'm just going to use. Now, this is a clean brush, and I'm just going to real lightly just brush it across. See how I'm doing that? Just real lightly. Now this old paint is a little bit thick on me, but that's okay. We'll get it blended in. See how I'm doing that? And just like that, we have a happy little sky. We'll go on down here. Where's my other brush? Run it back through the blue because we may have some water in this painting later. We don't know. That's the beautiful thing about doing these kinds of paintings, is you literally make it up as you go. Now personally what I do is I ask God to just anoint me, and I pray over every painting before I ever start that it will turn out the way that God wants it to turn out. And that way the pressure is off of me. If it doesn't turn out exactly the way I thought it was going to, hey, it's not me, it's on God. All right. So now we're going to clean our brush just like so. And then the most fun part of it is beating the devil out of it. Okay, we got that clean. Now we're going to take our almighty palette knife. All right, and I've just got some phthalo blue here, and this is probably my favorite part of doing it. Now everybody's got their different styles or whatever, but I just start off with running my knife through the phthalo blue, and your first big decision would be where to put our mountains. And today, I think I'm just going to start off by putting them right there. And we're not really too concerned about anything else right now except just the shape of the mountains up here at the top. We could care less about what's going on down at the bottom of the mountain right now. We're at the top of the mountain. Like the old song, the God of the mountain is still God in the valley. All right. Those mountaintop experiences are fun. It's down in the valleys where you get the nourishment. You can't have a mountain without a valley. Is that a song? I don't know. Maybe I should write that down. Weston Henson, if you're watching, that's a good title for a song, by the way. All right, now. All right, now we've got our little mountains there. And I'm going to take my 1.5 inch brush, and I'm going to really just come in and just come down a little bit like that. We're just setting it all up. Say what I mean, I told you it was easy. Shoot, if it's done by Raymond Austin, it's got to be easy. There we go, just like that. Just like that. Okay, now we just kind of spreading that out real good. And voila, there's mountains. But wait, there's more. So what you want to do next is take a good clean brush, dry brush, and you want to just real lightly at the base of the mountains go, make sure, it's very important you go with the same direction, and you just kind of lift up, lift it up, because what that ends up doing is making it look like smoke or haze. Just like that. As Jennifer Nelson says, ain't nothing to it but to do it. There we go. Just like that. Now, this is where the real fun comes in. Now, I really love snow, so I think we're going to put snow on the top of these mountains. Okay, so we're just going to go through white here, and starting at the top of the mountain, you're just going to real lightly just let that snow come off of the end of your knife, kind of like so. And one of the things that you've got to decide while you're doing that is, where is your light source going to come from? Which side of the mountain is going to be brighter, because this tells the whole painting right here. And I think today's painting, we are going to have the sun coming from this way. So we're going to put most of our white on that side of the mountain. The way we do that, we go back into our blue there, if you can see, and I'm going to mix that with my white, and kind of, we'll work on our shadows there. All right, there you go. And then instantly, our light source comes from that side. See right there, I got too much paint on there, so I'll just get some more white and start over. That's what I'm saying. If you mess up, you have the ability to correct it. So don't be afraid to mess up. Because with this technique, at this point, I could still take everything and start over. I could wipe it away clean, and I could still start all over. Now, we're not going to do that, but you could. You know, it's kind of like the Father has to do with some of us sometimes. Sometimes He has to just wipe our slate clean and start again, working on us. I know He has been working on me for a long time. Just like that. Oh, see, there's another mountaintop right there. But see, I want this mountain to go in front of that one. So again, I just take it and voila. Change it. This is probably my favorite part of the painting, is making the mountains. Because I pretend that I'm up there in that snow. I love being in the mountains. Do you? It's probably one of my favorite things to do, is go up in the mountains. Now, It's very important as a painter to step away from the painting, to get, you're right up close to it, step away for a couple minutes and look at it from a distance. So I think that's what we're going to do at this time. Okay, so we're back, and what we have done is I've just taken my 1.5 inch brush and I put some more Thao blue on there, and I just made my foothills simply by just going in and just doing like that. And what that gives the illusion of is far away trees. These lower foothills don't have the snow like the higher elevations do. So that's all that we've done, and we've just kind of been working our way toward us. So there's what, 1, 2, 3, there's at least 3 or 4 planes that we have put on to the mountain scene. Okay, like I said earlier in the paint, I might have some water in there, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my brush here and pull down way back there, and then just kind of real lightly go across. Look at there, it looks like reflections on a pond back there. So we'll start off with doing that. Now we're going to add some plant green to it. We're going, oh, that's raw umber, not ready for that. We'll do plant green, and I get my my paints. I used to get the Bob Ross paints at Hobby Lobby, but they have stopped carrying them. So now I still go to Hobby Lobby and I get the Master's Touch, and they have pretty good deals on there. And I'm going to clean my old brush here. I'm going to go into the little bit of the plant green, and I'm going to start adding another plane. See how I'm doing that? I'm just getting that paint all in those bristles. And I'm going to go across another plane that's a little bit closer to us, see? Okay, now I'm going to bring my water down a little bit more. So I'm just going to grab it, pull straight down. Straight, make sure that it's straight. If it's not straight, then it won't look right. All right, I'm going to take another brush, and I'm just going to real lightly go across there. See how I do that? Just real lightly. All right, now it's time to take another look, step back, and see what I've got. Okay, now what I've done is I've come in with another layer of another plane of trees, and I've started kind of making my water. And I'm going to take my palette knife and just real lightly run through there, and we're going to make a little water line just by doing like that. Just to show that that's the water line. Just like that. And then put a little bit of white in there for your ripples in the water. It took me a long time, and I'm still working on it, to find out how to do water, but that's the best way that I have found. Okay, so now we're getting a little bit closer. We're going to start showing a little bit more detail, and I'm not going to try to go through a lot of detail just for time's sake. Now what you can do is, I don't even know what this brush is called. This is it's got a little rubber, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a little rubber thing on the end of it, and what I like to do with that is to make your trees. And all you do, this is what I love about this technique, all I got to do is just start going through our trees, just kind of come out of there. Just like that. Just imagine how a tree limb would do it. Now, you're not doing a lot of detail here. You're just kind of making it in the background. Okay. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can take your palette knife and let me get all the white off of it, and you can just go through and cut it like so. That's another way of doing it, but I prefer doing it with my little tool here. And all I've done is I have added some blue to the color to make it a little bit darker, because the closer you get, you want to make it darker. All right, so now I think what we're going to do is we're going to have some some pine trees here. And as you can see, I've gone through and I've got my phthalo blue with some plant green. That's what I've done. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit more of the phthalo blue. Okay, so I've got my fan brush, my fan brush, and I'm going to take it through the green, but I'm also going to put that phthalo blue in there, and it just brings a. And actually, I'm going to go on a little bit on the side of the blue, because I want to make it a little bit different. And taking the top part of it, just like that. I got like the tops of trees. Just like that. We're going to bring them down right into our view. And we may end up covering these up here in a minute. And see, all the little trees I'd have made, I've changed my mind. I don't want them. So I'm just going to cover them up. Just like that. That's what I'm saying. This style of painting, your options are wide open with this. That's what makes this style of painting so much fun. Because you really can do anything you want with the painting, with a little bit of imagination and a little bit of bravery. You can make the most beautiful paintings in the world. There, I'm just using the corner of my brush. It's coming down. And you can see how I'm getting Getting that in there. There we go. There's another tree. Just like that. And all of a sudden, you've got a wilderness right there in front of you that you didn't even know that was out there until you started painting. You never know what's on a canvas until you start painting. And we'll start on this side of the river now. This side of the river. Well, that sounds like another good song. Need to write that one down. This side of the river. All right, there's another one there. While I'm doing this, I want to encourage everybody to go check out our page. It's called Our Journey His Way. And this is just a blog that my wife and I have started. She has worked very, very hard behind the scenes and getting the blog up. Has done a wonderful, wonderful job. She does all of the editing. And we are just seeing where God takes this. We need everybody to just come in and like it if you like this kind of stuff. And a little bit of crazy stuff. Then just follow us. Some of you say, well, I've never been to Tennessee. Well, we'll take you there. We do videos and put pictures and everything. Our goal right now is it's springtime, early spring, and the bears are just now coming out, and we want to see a bear. Not up close, but we do want to see one. That's one of our goals to put on our page. But even more than that, the reason in the page is to encourage anybody that looks at it. All right. I'm just going along with more of these pine trees, making it look more and more like a wilderness. I don't know about anybody else, but I like backcountry. The older I get and the fatter I get more out of shape. I need to start running and doing something, but I want to see the backcountry. But until then, until I can go to the backcountry, I can paint it in my mind. Okay, I have added another plane to the trees, and then I've come down and I simply did what I did while ago, came straight down and then real lightly went across, so it looks like water now. So now I'm going to add, with my palette knife, where is it? Right here. I'm going to go to the white, titanium white, and I'm just putting a little bit on there and make the shoreline, make it look way off back there in the distance somewhere. There's an old bullfrog living or something in there. And then I'm going to come on out a little bit more and just add my water lines. Just like that. And we may cover this up in just a minute, but at least it's there. Like I said, I am new at all of this myself, so we're just playing today. Seeing what that may bring. Now, as I said earlier in the painting, my light source is coming from this side of the painting. So what I'm going to do now is I've got another fan brush, and I've just got some bright yellow, and I'm just going to get it on the fan brush, and just real lightly, I'm going to highlight this side of the trees. So just to kind of add to the illusion, and mostly at the top, that my light is coming from that area. And this is a new fan brush I haven't used very much, so just bear with me as I play with it. I might have to blend that in a little bit here in just a second, but it's no problem, we'll get it. Either that's light glistening on it or that's a lot of pollen. But up here in Tennessee, it is pollen season full blown right now. It's finally coming on. It was very cold when we first moved up here, but it has started warming up. Not as warm as our friends down in Texas, but it's warm. It just feels good. This has been perfect weather up here. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but we do. Of course, I'm kind of a weird one. I like cold weather. I like cold, cloudy days is my favorite. Just touches, just highlights, nothing major. And then I am going to take my other fan brush I used a while ago and just kind of blend it in. And like I said, it's mostly at the tops of the trees that you want to do that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to bring everything up close. So I'm going through some more phthalo blue and some green, little bit of green, but like I said, we're very close, so we're going to try to make it look dark. We're going to go up here. We're going to put a big tree right here. All right, and taking the corner of our fan brush, we just start coming down, just like that. And voila, there is a tree right there in the painting that we didn't even know was there. Now notice how it's darker, so it's showing up in front of the other trees. The other brush, it brings it forward. And you know what? Let's go ahead and do another tree there just to help us out. We'll put one right there. Now going through that white snow there, you're going to have to add some more dark because it's going to bleed through there. But you just use your fan brush, just going back and forth, just like so. Put a little bit of green in it. That brings it all the while closer. And before long, you feel like you're in the mountains just by looking at your own painting. And you know what? I think we're going to put some more over here on this side. Let's see, let's put a tree kind of back there in the distance. Okay, I've brought the trees forward. Now we need a little bit of detail in these trees. So this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my palette knife and I am going to go to just a little bit of my white, and just going to go make the illusion like there's some tree trunks showing through. Just a little bit of white. And actually, I need to put some brown on there, or this is some this is burnt umber. Kind of has that brown look, or supposed to, if I get enough on my knife. Just going through. Now as you go through with the paintings that you do, it gets easier with time. And each painting you get a little bit better. Now this is the first time we've ever filmed while doing it, so this is a whole different ball game. But like my wife just said, it'll get better. There we go. Just adding some tree trunks through there. Now let me put my white highlights on there. I'm going to take my little tool there, if I can find it. Here it is. And by the way, it took me a while to figure out just to get some cheap gloves, disposable gloves, and it really, really helps out. Now we're going to do the illusion of trees through there, or limbs, I'm sorry, limbs in the trees. And we're just going to, wherever those limbs may be. Nothing too spectacular, just every now and then the illusion of limbs coming through. to do a traditional painting like this would take forever, because you'd have to do all of the stuff in layers, wait for that to dry, and then hit the next one. But with wet on wet, you can do it in no time at all. And then at the bottom, I'm just kind of once again give the illusion of brush. I want to remind everybody that God is the master painter. Not only did He make the earth and everything that's in it, the universe and everything, but He made you. I am the master of this canvas. None of you sees the painting the way that I see it. Why? Because I'm the master. No matter how other people see you in life, it doesn't matter. It only matters how the master sees you from the view that He has. That's what really matters. And from the master, this is a masterpiece. I want it to be exhibited because I am proud of it, because I am the master of this painting, just like God is the master of you.